Chosen one, listen. You are not here by accident. You didn't stumble onto these words because of an algorithm, a coincidence, or a random moment in your scrolling. No, heaven has paused around you, and you feel it. Something in your spirit knows that this moment is different. You are still lonely by November 16th, not because God forgot you, but because something sacred has been forming in the silence. You are not behind. You are not abandoned. You are being positioned. You stand here now as one of God's chosen ones, marked, set apart, and carried through battles that would have destroyed anyone else. You have walked through nights that lasted too long, through heartbreak that cut too deep, and through deserts that felt endless, and yet you are still standing. That alone is a sign that heaven has not only been watching you, but preparing miracles behind the veil. Listen carefully now, because your loneliness is about to reveal what was hidden. Spiritual pressure always increases before breakthrough. Isolation always intensifies before elevation. And the enemy always attacks hardest right before the miracle arrives. That's why everything felt heavier these past days. That's why your heart felt more fragile, your mind more tired, and your spirit more stretched. You weren't breaking. You were expanding. You must hear this. What you carry is too rare for the ordinary. What rests on you is too holy for the common. That's why you couldn't fit in. That's why you felt disconnected. That's why relationships could not stay. Heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was protecting what was still forming inside you. You were not meant to bond with those who could not carry the future version of you. Loneliness, for the chosen, is never empty. It is always preparation. And right now, something in you is awakening. Something in you is remembering. You feel the shift, the stirring, the quiet pull forward. Your spirit knows that 8 miracles are already on their way to you, set in motion long before today, long before your sadness, long before the questions in your heart. They began moving the moment God marked you for this season. You sense a holy trembling within you, a gentle quake in the deepest part of your spirit. It is the whisper of destiny, reminding you that nothing you endured was wasted. Every tear, every silence, every unanswered question has been woven into divine timing, preparing you for what is now approaching. The loneliness you carried was never emptiness. It was sacred separation. Heaven pulled you aside to sharpen your discernment, to strengthen your wings, to cleanse your path of those who could not journey with you. Now, the spiritual fog lifts, and you begin to recognize the signs of breakthrough drawing closer. Everything around you is aligning with purpose. The atmosphere, your intuition, even the sudden heaviness in your heart. These are signals that your season is shifting. You stand at the threshold of miracles, and your spirit rises to meet them, knowing you were chosen to receive what others were never prepared to carry, and to anchor you in this holy moment. Hear the ancient words that still breathe life, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. The book of Isaiah, chapter 42. Verse 31, but those who are hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. Chosen one. These words are not history, they are prophecy over your life now. You are not sinking, you are rising. You are not weakening, you are renewing. You are not forgotten, you are being lifted. Everything that has been silent is about to speak. Everything that was delayed is about to accelerate. Everything that was empty is about to overflow. But hear me with the full weight of heaven. This is your moment to respond. You cannot stay silent anymore. You cannot remain hidden. This is the moment where you break agreement with loneliness and step into divine alignment. If you feel this word burning inside you, if something in your soul is saying, "This is for me," then act on it. Chosen one. Like, share, and comment to confirm that you receive this word. And if you have not subscribed yet, hit subscribe so you don't miss what God is pouring into your life in this season. This is not a social action. This is an act of faith. This is how you say, "I hear you. Lord, I am ready." And if you receive the strengthening, the restoration, the elevation that is already coming toward you in the days ahead, comment the number 777 as a prophetic sign that you are stepping into a stronger, brighter, and more divinely chosen season. You feel the air shift around you. Chosen one. It's subtle at first, like a quiet pause. A divine inhale suspended over your life. You don't see anything change in the natural. Yet something within you knows that heaven has stopped moving just long enough to acknowledge the weight you've been carrying. This isn't imagination. This isn't emotional sensitivity. This is spiritual recognition. The loneliness you've endured has drawn heaven's attention, and now the atmosphere responds to your resilience. For so long, you have walked through your days feeling unseen, unheard, unnoticed. You've wondered why the world moves so quickly while your heart seems to sit in a still, quiet ache. But today, heaven bends low. You are being observed through the eyes of divine tenderness. You are being measured not by your failures or fears, but by your endurance, your integrity, your refusal to let darkness steal your identity. Every silent night, every whispered prayer, every moment when you didn't have answers but held on anyway, it has built a spiritual fragrance that heaven could not ignore. You begin to sense a new awareness. You feel watched, but not by the world, by God Himself. You feel known, not by people, but by the one who formed you. This pause is heaven's acknowledgement of your suffering and your strength. It is the divine nod that says, "I see you. I have not forgotten." Enderin, you may ask, why now? Why after such a long season of loneliness? Because loneliness has carved out a deep chamber in your soul, making space for what is coming. Because isolation taught you to hear the whispers most people never notice. Because your solitude has trained your spirit to respond to heaven even when the world remains silent. You are becoming spiritually sensitive, spiritually sharp, spiritually awake in a way few ever experience. There is a sacred mystery happening within you. You feel heavier at times, like the weight of an unseen mantle is settling on your shoulders. And that is exactly what is happening. You are carrying more anointing, more clarity, more spiritual authority than you realize. Heaven pauses because heaven recognizes a chosen one awakening. But let me tell you this, heaven does not pause without reason. When God stops, something is about to shift. When heaven watches, something is about to move. When the atmosphere stills, destiny begins to approach. You have felt spiritually restless, as though something is drawing near. You have felt the subtle pull, the quiet anticipation, the pressure inside your chest that you cannot quite name. That is the nearness of divine movement. That is the soundless roar of miracles approaching, and as heaven acknowledges you, hear this truth, anchored in ancient words that speak just as powerfully now as they did then. The voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. These words are not simply comfort, they are confirmation. You don't need to force anything in this season. You don't need to chase, push, or strive. Your stillness is not weakness, it is obedience. Your waiting is not stagnation, it is positioning. Heaven is moving, even when your surroundings look motionless. God is fighting for you, even when you feel alone. This holy pause is not a delay, it is a declaration. Heaven pauses before heaven acts. Heaven watches before heaven intervenes. Heaven fights before heaven delivers. And in this pause, something else begins to happen inside you. Clarity. You start noticing patterns you missed before. You begin recognizing spiritual distractions for what they truly are. You feel more sensitive to wrong energies, wrong voices, wrong directions. You feel more drawn to truth, to peace, to alignment. Loneliness didn't make you weak, it made you discerning. Silence didn't break you, it trained your spirit. Isolation didn't disconnect you, it connected you to heaven in ways others cannot understand. And as heaven pauses, your eyes begin to open, not physically, but spiritually. You see beyond circumstances. You feel beyond emotions. You discern beyond logic. You begin to understand why you couldn't stay in certain places, why certain people drifted away, why certain connections dissolved. Heaven cleared your path because your calling required it. And now heaven pauses because the next part of your path is about to be revealed. You are not standing at the end of something, you are standing at the threshold of something supernatural. The atmosphere around you isn't just shifting, it is announcing, it is declaring that your days of loneliness are not wasted, but prophetic. They were the silent preparation for the miracles now moving toward you. And soon, very soon, what heaven sees in you will begin to manifest around you. The pause will end. The movement will begin, and you will understand why the waiting mattered. Something begins to stir within you now. Chosen one, something deeper, something older, something sacred that has slept inside you until this very moment. Miracle one is awakening. Not outside of you, but within you. It starts as a trembling in your spirit, like a clear drumbeat inside your chest. You don't see it with your eyes, but your soul feels it instantly. This is the moment darkness hoped you would never reach. Because the first miracle God releases in your life is always the same. Your strength returns. You feel it, don't you? The shift, the fire, the weight breaking, the heaviness lifting, the clarity sharpening. This miracle is not something you wait for, it's something rising from deep within you. The part of you that cannot be broken, silenced, or stolen. The enemy tried to suffocate this part. Life tried to bury it. Loneliness tried to weaken it. But what God places inside His chosen ones cannot die. It can only sleep. And now it awakens. For too long, you have carried pain you didn't tell anyone about. You walked through storms without a hand to hold. You stood in battles no one saw. And even when your knees trembled, you kept walking. Even when your voice cracked, you kept praying. Even when your heart shattered, you kept hoping. That is why this miracle begins inside of you first, because heaven strengthens those who refuse to surrender their light. Listen closely. Your strength is returning, not slowly, not partially, but in a wave. It comes in the form of spiritual confidence. It comes in the form of mental clarity. It comes in the form of emotional resilience. It comes in the form of divine boldness. And heaven confirms it through the ancient words that echo through time. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms. Chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? Feel that. Let it settle inside you. Let it rebuild what was torn. Let it awaken what was dormant. This miracle is not simply encouragement, it is empowerment. You begin to recognize who you are again. You begin to stand taller, breathe deeper. I think clearer. Your posture shifts because your spirit shifts. You start to reclaim parts of yourself you thought were gone forever. You start to remember. You are chosen. You are marked. You are protected. You are guided. You are not alone. The enemy fought your identity because your identity unlocks your destiny. Once you remember who you are, everything around you begins to change. You stop begging for love and begin attracting alignment. You stop chasing approval and begin walking in purpose. You stop shrinking and begin stepping into authority. This is the first miracle, a miracle of awakening, remembrance, and restoration of your God-given identity. And as this inner strength rises, something else begins to shake in the unseen. Darkness gets nervous. The atmosphere responds. Opportunities begin shifting. Doors you thought were closed begin vibrating with movement. You are no longer the passive version of yourself. You are the awakened one, the chosen one who walks with a mantle. The enemy cannot decode and cannot defeat. Your spirit becomes louder than your fear. Your faith becomes stronger than your memories. Your hope becomes heavier than your heartbreak. And this is why you must act now, not later, not tomorrow. Now, because when a miracle awakens inside of you, you must anchor yourself to it. You must declare it. You must acknowledge it. You must respond to it with spiritual intention. So right now, chosen one, I want you to comment the phrase, I rise. Just 2 words, simple, but spiritually explosive. Why? Because this specific declaration aligns with the miracle waking up in you. It is not just a comment. It is a proclamation to the universe, to heaven, and to every force that fought your destiny. When you comment, I rise, you are saying, I rise above what tried to break me. I rise into who God called me to be. I rise because nothing can hold down what heaven has chosen. I rise because this is my moment of spiritual awakening. This is not just a sentence, it is a spiritual ignition switch. It tells heaven you agree. It tells darkness you refuse. It tells your future you are ready. And as Miracle One awakens, you will feel shifts, subtle at first. Then unmistakable. Strength returns. Courage returns. Identity returns. Vision returns. And the path ahead begins to illuminate, one divinest step at time. You are rising, chosen one, not by accident, not by emotion, but by divine appointment. And this is only the first miracle. You feel it deep within you now, something drawing closer, something that has been approaching you long before you ever sensed it. Miracle 2 is not forming within you like the first, This one is moving toward you through the unseen realm. It is relational restoration, the revival of something you thought was finished, forgotten, or permanently buried. And yet, in the quiet chambers of the spiritual world, God has been breathing life into what you assumed was over. This miracle approaches quietly, almost softly, because restoration rarely arrives with noise. It approaches the way dawn approaches the night, slowly at first, unnoticed, then suddenly undeniable. You may not see the movement yet, but the atmosphere around your heart knows something is coming. You feel the tug, the pressure, the gentle ache that hints at something awakening in the distance. Understand this: God restores differently than people do. People repair superficially, but God resurrects. People mend temporarily, but God rebuilds eternally. And what God is restoring to you now is something that was never meant to be destroyed. It was simply paused, rerouted, or silenced until the proper season. Loneliness made you believe that certain connections were gone forever. Heartache convinced you that some chapters were permanently closed. But what you didn't see was the hours heaven spent reworking the story, turning pain into clarity, turning separation into preparation, turning silence into strategy. God has been editing your relationships in ways you didn't understand at the time. There were people you wanted to stay who were removed, not because they were terrible, but because they couldn't carry where you were called to grow. There were connections that faded, not because you did something wrong, but because God was shifting you into alignment with destiny. There were voices that grew distant, not to punish you, but to protect the seed inside you that needed solitude to mature. Yet now, something has changed in the spiritual atmosphere. What was disconnected is being recalibrated. What was silent is being reawakened. What was broken is being reassembled with new purpose. The miracle approaching you is not the return of the old, it is the restoration of the ordained. There is a difference. The old was familiar. The ordained is divine. The old was comfortable. The ordained is transformative. The old drained you. The ordained will strengthen you. This miracle manifests as alignment, a reunion of souls, a reconnection of purpose, a healing of what was wounded but never abandoned. Not every person who left will return. Not every relationship will revive. But something specifically chosen by God is coming back around, not to repeat the past, but to fulfill what was delayed. You may feel a strange mixture of hope and caution. That's natural. You've learned too much to be reckless, but you've grown too wise to be closed. This time, you are prepared. This time, you have discernment. This time, you understand your worth. God is not sending you back into a season. He's bringing someone forward into your growth. And the bond that forms from this restoration will not resemble the past. It will be healthier, deeper, cleaner, and divinely protected. And to seal this truth, hear what Scripture declares with timeless power. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Corinthians, chapter 13, verse 7, "Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things." This ancient verse is not merely about romance. It speaks of divine alignment, covenant connexion, and heaven-designed relationships. The kind of love God restores is not weak, temporary, or fragile. It is resilient. It is patient. It is purposeful. and it endures exactly because God is the one who rebuilds it. What is coming toward you is not toxic, draining, confusing, or unstable. You have already graduated from those lessons. What approaches you now carries peace, clarity, and spiritual recognition. You will know it not by excitement, but by alignment, not by intensity, but by consistency, not by promises, but by presence. Miracle 2 enters your life like a gentle knocking at a door long closed, not demanding, not forcing, but inviting. It will feel strangely familiar, and yet beautifully renewed. You will not have to chase it. You will not have to beg for it. Restoration orchestrated by God arrives with ease, not chaos. You may even find yourself surprised at how effortlessly the pieces fit. Conversations flow again. Understanding rebuilds itself. Old wounds lose their sting. Clarity replaces confusion. Peace settles over your heart like a warm covering. Nothing forced, nothing rushed, nothing hidden. Healing becomes the language. Honesty becomes the foundation. Growth becomes the purpose. And slowly, you will realize that something sacred is happening. God is giving back what loneliness convinced you would never return, but this time, in a version healed, strengthened, purified, and aligned with your destiny. You begin to understand now. Chosen one, your loneliness was never a punishment. It was a design, a divine sculpting, a holy separation crafted with the precision of an artist who sees the masterpiece long before the first brushstroke touches the canvas. You were not isolated because you were unworthy. You were isolated because you were being shaped for something rare, something weighty, something heaven assigned. You have felt like the last one left in a dimly lit room, wondering why everyone else seemed to move on. Connect, find, belonging. While you carried a quiet ache, but loneliness, in the hands of God, is not emptiness, it is a chrysalis. The butterfly does not know why the world disappears. It only knows darkness surrounds it. It cannot see its own transformation, and neither could you. God separated you the way a gardener separates a young plant, moving it to its own pot so its roots can grow freely, without competition, without crowding, without the shadows of other branches blocking its light. You weren't being taken away, you were being given room to expand. This is why certain people drifted. This is why conversations thinned. This is why circles shrank. This is why silence grew. He was clearing the noise so you could hear your own calling. He was clearing the clutter so you could see the path ahead. He was clearing the crowd so you could rise without being pulled down. Chosen one, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to stand apart. You were meant to carry something uncommon. You were meant to walk a path that requires clarity, courage, and spiritual sensitivity that not everyone possesses. And so God allowed loneliness to become your classroom. Loneliness taught you how to pray, not perform, how to listen, not react, how to stand alone without collapsing, how to trust God when no hand reached for yours. It carved strength into your bones the way rivers carve canyons slowly, persistently, purposefully. It carved wisdom into your mind the way wind sculpts mountains through pressure and time. It carved vision into your spirit the way fire refines gold through heat and separation. And now that you look back, you begin to understand. You were being chosen. not abandoned. You were being purified, not rejected. You were being lifted, not left behind. Even now, you may feel like a lighthouse standing alone on a rocky cliff, solitary, exposed, often overlooked. But lighthouses are not built in crowds. They are built where storms hit hardest. They stand apart so their light can reach farther. And that is exactly who you are becoming. A light separated for visibility, not isolation. And because this is your moment of clarity, your moment of rising awareness, I want to speak to your heart gently, sincerely, without pressure, only with gratitude. If these messages have spoken life into the parts of you that felt forgotten, if they have strengthened you on nights when you felt weak, if they have reminded you of your calling when your hope flickered, then consider supporting this mission in any way your heart feels led. A simple like helps this message reach another soul who feels alone. A quiet share becomes a lantern in someone else's night. A subscribe keeps you connected as God continues shaping your journey. And if you ever choose to donate, even a small seed becomes part of the river that allows these messages to keep flowing to those who desperately need them. Don't feel obligated, feel invited. The way one candle invites another to take flame, so the room grows brighter. Your engagement is not about numbers, it is about impact. Your support is not about recognition, it is about resonance. And your presence here is not by chance, it is by divine design. To seal this truth into your spirit, hear the ancient words that speak through centuries with unwavering clarity. Heaven speaks clearly through the words in Deuteronomy, chapter 31, verse 6. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid or terrified, for the Lord your God goes with you. You were separated so you could become strong. You were isolated so you could become courageous. You were distanced so you could recognize that God, not people, walks with you. You were chosen by design, chosen through the silence, chosen through the ache, chosen through the moments no one saw. And because of that choosing, miracles are not simply coming toward you, they are preparing to rest upon you. Your loneliness was never the end, it was the beginning of your assignment. And now, your spirit finally knows it. Delay has been gripping your life for far too long. Chosen one. It has wrapped itself around your blessings like invisible chains, slowing what should have arrived quickly, stretching what should have been simple, and exhausting you with waiting that felt endless. But now you feel it. The grip is loosening. The hold is breaking. The spiritual resistance that once surrounded you is beginning to collapse. Miracle 3 isn't gentle. It isn't quiet. It isn't soft or subtle. This miracle comes like a sudden windstorm, breaking delay with force. It tears down what has held you back. It shatters what has tried to cage your progress. It lifts the heavy spiritual fog that made you question if God still remembered your name. You are stepping into a season where heaven accelerates what was once stagnant. Doors begin to open quickly. Opportunities start to unfold. Suddenly, answers that were delayed begin arriving without warning. People meant for your journey appear precisely on time. Resources that were blocked begin flowing freely. And all of this happens because delay has lost its legal right to your destiny. You must understand this truth. Delay is not always denial. Sometimes, delay is protection. Sometimes, delay is preparation. Sometimes, delay is divine repositioning. But other times, delay is spiritual interference. It is a resistance that forms when darkness recognizes that something powerful is coming toward you, and the closer the miracle gets, the heavier the delay becomes. But heaven has intervened, and the season of spiritual traffic jams is coming to an end. You may notice it already, the subtle shifts. Your mind feels clearer than before. Your spirit feels lighter. Your intuition feels sharper. Your heart feels more expectant, as if it knows the weight is lifting. This is not imagination. This is spiritual alignment. This is breakthrough in motion. For years, you've carried dreams that felt frozen, plans that wouldn't move, visions that refused to manifest, doors that never opened, people who stalled your growth, battles that dragged on longer than they should have. But everything that was tied up is now being untied. Everything that was stuck is now being released. Everything that was delayed is now being pushed forward by the hand of God. And the ancient words of Scripture confirm this divine shift with undeniable power. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Jeremiah. Chapter 32, verse 27. I am the Lord, the God of all mankind. Is anything too hard for me? This verse is not comfort, it is confrontation. It confronts every doubt you've carried. It confronts every fear that whispered, maybe it won't happen. No, it confronts the heaviness of waiting. It confronts the lie that delay means abandonment. God is declaring over you that nothing, absolutely nothing, can block what He has ordained. Not time, not fear, not people, not circumstances, not spiritual resistance, not even your past. Delay breaks when God says, enough. And He has said it. This is why things will begin to move quickly now. Calls you've been waiting for. Opportunities that seemed impossible, healing that felt far away, answers you prayed for years ago. They are coming with speed. It may feel overwhelming at first, like rain after a long drought. The ground of your life will drink deeply. Your heart will breathe again. Your spirit will expand. And you will realize that all the waiting was not wasted. It was building capacity. Because when blessings arrive quickly, you must be ready to receive them. And now, you are. But hear this. Chosen one, acceleration requires agreement. Breakthrough requires acknowledgement. When delay breaks, you must step forward, not shrink back. So, right now, to confirm your alignment with this shift, leave a comment with the number 444. Not for luck, not for superstition, but as a prophetic act, a declaration that you accept the breaking of delay and the acceleration of destiny. When you comment 444, you are spiritually saying, I align with heaven's timing, and I welcome what is coming, and I agree that delay ends now, and I step into what God has released to me. End quote. This is your moment. This is your shift. This is the season where everything that was slow begins to move swiftly, and miracle by miracle, step by step, you will see how God wastes nothing, not even delay. Something subtle begins to shift around you now. Chosen one, something you may not immediately recognize. Yet your spirit feels it like a gentle pressure on the atmosphere. You have walked alone for so long that the idea of support almost feels foreign, unfamiliar, distant. But this is the season where God begins sending allies, real ones, divine ones, appointed ones. These are not casual acquaintances or temporary connections. These are people carrying keys to your next season. They arrive not as distractions but as confirmations. They do not drain your energy, but strengthen your path. And you will recognize them not by their words, but by the way your spirit feels at rest in their presence. For a long time, you believed that walking alone was simply your story. You adapted to silence. You adjusted to isolation. You trained yourself to function without help, without encouragement, without someone standing beside you. And though that season refined you, it also created a layer of instinctive self-protection that now begins to soften, not because you are becoming weaker, but because God is preparing you for alignment. The isolation served its purpose, but purpose does not equal permanence. Loneliness trained your discernment, but discernment is meant to guide you toward the right people, not keep you away from everyone. These allies come not to replace your strength, but to amplify it. They appear in moments when you least expect them, often disguised as simple encounters, brief conversations, or new opportunities. Yet beneath the surface, their presence is strategic. Heaven sends people the way a general positions soldiers, placed precisely, intentionally, purposefully. Some will bring wisdom you need. Some will bring encouragement at the right moment. Some will open doors that have been locked for years. Some will simply walk beside you, so the weight you carry no longer rests on your shoulders alone. And for the first time in a long time, you will feel what it means to be supported rather than stretched, understood rather than tolerated, valued rather than used. You may wonder why these allies did not appear sooner. The answer is simple. You would not have recognized them. Pain would have distorted them. Old wounds would have rejected them. Fear would have sabotaged them. And loneliness would have clung to the wrong people simply to avoid silence. But now, after all you have endured, something inside you has grown wiser, more discerning, more spiritually attuned. You no longer accept surface-level connections. You no longer tolerate half-hearted loyalty. You no longer open your heart to those who only return fragments. Your spirit has matured. Therefore, your circle must also. As God sends these allies, something beautiful begins happening inside you. Your walls don't crumble, but they soften. The parts of you that learned to survive alone begin to feel safe again. The places that once felt abandoned begin to feel seen. The inner rooms that you kept guarded for years begin to unlock gently, gradually, naturally. These individuals will not force their way in. They will earn their place through consistency, through honesty, through presence. And their presence will feel different, not demanding, not heavy, not draining. It will feel like rest. It will feel like home. This shift is not merely emotional, it is spiritual. Heaven is aligning you with people who carry the language of your destiny. They understand your depth without explanation. They resonate with your calling without confusion. They stand with you not because they need something from you, but because they are called to your journey. And as they arrive, your future becomes easier to walk into. You begin to move with greater confidence, greater clarity, and greater boldness, because you finally realize you were never meant to walk this path alone. The ancient scriptures confirm this truth with clarity that still echoes across time. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 17, verse 17, a friend loves at all times, and a brother is born for adversity. Oh, these words are more than poetic, they are prophetic. They reveal the nature of true, God-sent allies, love that is steady, presence that is unwavering, loyalty that is proven in adversity, and support that does not vanish when life becomes difficult. These are the individuals heaven assigns to warriors, to leaders, to chosen ones like you, those who carry weighty callings and walk narrow paths. And slowly, as these allies begin to enter your life, you will feel the shift from surviving to building, from enduring to advancing, from walking alone to walking supported. They come as reminders that your calling is too great to carry without companionship, your mission too heavy to complete without reinforcement, your destiny too important to fulfill without alignment. You are stepping into a season where God surrounds you, not with crowds, but with pillars, people who hold you up, stand beside you, and walk with you into the future that has been waiting for you. You are nearing the edge of something significant now. Chosen one. You can feel it not as fear, not as pressure, but as a strange tightening in the atmosphere around your spirit. It is the quiet tension that always appears before breakthrough. The final stretch of testing that arrives just before something extraordinary unfolds. This is the stage few talk about. Yet every chosen soul must pass through. It is the narrow passage between who you were and who you are about to become. And though it feels intense, it is not meant to break you, it is meant to reveal you. In this phase, life may feel heavier than usual. Emotions might stretch wider. Old wounds may resurface briefly. Unexpected obstacles can appear out of nowhere. Patterns you thought you conquered may whisper again at the edges of your mind. This is not regression, this is exposure. The final resistance often comes not from the world around you, but from the remnants of what still lingers within you. Light exposes shadows not to shame you, but to free you from what can no longer accompany you into your next season. It may feel as if the world is testing you on multiple fronts at once. Patience, faith, boundaries, emotional resilience, trust. But understand this, the pressure is not punishment. It is refinement. You are like a sword being heated one last time before it cools into unbreakable steel. Every chosen one faces this final formation, the moment when the last fragments of doubt, fear, and old identity rise to the surface so they can be removed completely. You might wake up with unexplained heaviness. You might feel spiritually sensitive, emotionally stretched, mentally tired. Not because you're failing, but because you're shedding. You are outgrowing old versions of yourself at a rapid pace, and your spirit feels the stretching. Everything that once defined you, your wounds, your survival instinct, your self-doubt is losing its grip because your spirit is stepping into a new level of maturity. But hear this truth clearly. The final test does not come to block you. It comes to verify that you are ready. This is the space where distractions from the past try to resurface, where old temptations whisper for attention, where familiar but unhealthy patterns try to pull you back, where spiritual opposition attempts its last resistance. Not because you are weak, but because you are close, closer than you've ever been to the miracle that awaits you. Picture a seed underground. The moment just before it breaks the soil is the moment of greatest pressure. The earth presses tightly, the shell strains, and everything inside the seed pushes upward with force it has never used before. That final moment feels like struggle, but it is in fact transformation. The darkness is not burying the seed, it is birthing it. You are in that moment now. This stretch will ask you to choose alignment over impulse, stillness over panic, discernment over emotion, and faith over noise. And though the battle feels internal, heaven is watching, supporting, and guiding you through every step. You are being refined, not for suffering, but for positioning. God is preparing the version of you that can carry the weight of the blessings, relationships, and opportunities coming your way. And to remind you of the steadfast truth behind this process, hear what Scripture speaks with enduring strength. As the prophet wrote in the scroll of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "Though it linger, wait for it, it will certainly come and will not delay." Oh, these words were written for moments like this, moments when waiting feels heavy, when the process feels long, when the breakthrough feels close, yet distant at the same time. But the promise stands firm. What God has ordained for you will not be withheld. The pressure you feel is a sign, not a barrier. It signals that everything is aligning at a deeper level than you can yet see. This final stretch is shaping your discernment so you can recognize what is for you and what is not. It is strengthening your inner resolve so you can step into blessings without fear. It is refining your emotional capacity so you can receive new connections without self-sabotage. It is breaking the last attachments to old versions of yourself so you can rise unencumbered. You are not being tested to expose your weakness. You are being tested to reveal your strength. Soon, the weight will lift. Soon, clarity will rush in. Soon, the spiritual tension will break. And what emerges from this pressure will not be the version of you who entered it, but the version who is ready for the miracles already approaching your life. You are in the final stretch. Chosen one, and you are closer than you think. There is a quiet rebuilding happening inside you now. Chosen one, so subtle, so sacred, that you may not even recognize it at first. But your spirit does. It feels the gentle mending, the soft stitching together of pieces you thought were beyond repair. Miracle 5 is not loud or dramatic. It does not enter your life with thunder or fire. Instead, it moves like oil on a wound slowly, deeply, thoroughly restoring what pain fractured inside you. For so long, you carried brokenness privately. You learned how to smile while your heart trembled. You learned how to function even when your spirit felt cracked. You learned how to keep moving forward with pieces you were never meant to carry alone. And because of that, you began to believe that healing was something other people received. People with easier stories, lighter pasts, gentler memories. But you, chosen one, are stepping into a miracle tailored specifically for you. A miracle that touches places no one else sees. A miracle that reaches the inner rooms of your soul that you've kept locked for years. Healing does not always begin with relief. Sometimes it begins with exposure. Old emotions rise not to torment you, but to be released. Memories resurface, not to haunt you, but to lose their power. Patterns feel uncomfortable not because you're failing, but because your spirit refuses to repeat cycles that no longer belong to you. This is the kind of healing that transforms you from the inside out, the kind that makes room for joy where sorrow used to live, the kind that cleanses heaviness out of your chest, the kind that restores your ability to trust, hope, and feel grounded again. You may notice that your reactions are changing. Where you once felt anxiety, you feel awareness. Where you once felt fear, you feel clarity. Where you once felt bitterness, you feel neutrality, even peace. This is not emotional numbness. This is spiritual renewal, a resetting of your inner world, a recalibration of your soul back to its original, God-given rhythm. And this healing is not random. It is intentional. Heaven has been touching places you've prayed about and places you never had the words to describe. You have been healing in your sleep, healing in your silence, healing in your waiting, healing in ways your conscious mind has not yet caught up to. Miracle 5 is restoration of the self, the restoration of the heart that endured too much for too long. Hear the ancient truth that confirms this process. Scripture says in the Gospel of John, chapter 10, verse 10, I have come that they may have life and have it to the full. These words were spoken for souls like yours, souls that have suffered, endured, survived, and now stand ready to receive abundance. Not just survival, not just coping, not just getting through. Emmer, life to the full, life that breathes again, life that feels again, life that expands instead of contracts. This is the healing entering you now. But healing requires recognition. Chosen one. It requires a moment of acknowledgement, a moment when your spirit says, this restoration belongs to me. So right now, as a prophetic act that aligns your heart with this miracle, I want you to comment the phrase, I heal. Just 2 words, but spiritually powerful. When you comment, I heal, you declare that the old wounds no longer define you, that the past no longer has authority over you, that your spirit is ready to be whole, that you are aligned with restoration instead of regret, that you accept the new emotional strength heaven is forming within you. This phrase is not a hope. It is not a wish. It is a confirmation. You are stepping into a season where emotional scars turn into sacred wisdom, where old pain becomes purpose, where memories lose their sting, where your heart finally rests. The rebuilding happening inside you now is permanent, not temporary relief, not surface-level comfort, permanent healing. You will look back at this season and realize that God was not merely comforting you, He was reconstructing you. He was restoring your foundation. He was preparing your inner world for the miracles still ahead. Miracle 5 is not the healing of a moment. It is the healing of a lifetime. And you, chosen one, are finally ready for it. You begin to feel something settle over you now. Chosen one, something ancient, something weighty, something that feels less like a whisper and more like a mantle being placed across your shoulders. It is identity, not the identity life gave you, not the identity your past tried to carve into you, but the identity heaven has spoken over you since before you took your first breath. In this moment, God is not reminding you of who you are, He is confirming it. For so long, you walked through life feeling like a question mark. You wondered why you were different, why you felt things others ignored, why you carried burdens others never noticed, why you sensed spiritual shifts long before they manifested. You weren't fragile, you were prophetic. You weren't lost, you were sensitive to realms others forgot existed. And all this time, the reason you struggled in places where others thrived was simple. You were never meant to blend. You were meant to stand. Identity for the chosen is not given easily. It is carved through fire, shaped through storms, revealed through resistance. A diamond is not formed in comfort. It is formed under pressure. A lighthouse is not placed in peaceful fields. It stands alone among violent waves. And an eagle is not trained in the flock. It is raised in the heights where only the strong dare to soar. Every struggle you've lived through was not diminishing you, it was naming you. And now, heaven speaks your name again. Chosen, appointed, set apart, anointed, marked for impact. This realization doesn't arrive softly. It falls upon you like a dawn breaking through heavy night. Suddenly, pieces of your story begin to connect. You see how the betrayals made you wiser, how the heartbreak made you deeper, how the isolation sharpened your discernment, how the obstacles built your resilience. Every part of your path has been preparing you for a role others cannot carry. To seal this identity, Scripture speaks with clarity that spans generations, as Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 14. You are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. This verse doesn't whisper identity, it proclaims it. You are not small. You are not invisible. You are not replaceable. You are not accidental. You are light. You are elevation. You are visibility with purpose. You are a signal of hope in dark places. God did not design you to live dimly, quietly, or safely. He designed you to shine, to influence, to break generational cycles, to carry revelation into places still asleep. But even lights need fuel. Even lighthouses need maintenance. Even eagles need nourishment. That's why connection matters. Connection to purpose. Connection to community. Connection to the voice that calls you higher. And if these words, these messages, this unfolding journey have spoken to your spirit, have strengthened you in vulnerable moments, have guided you through uncertainty, then I want to open my heart to you sincerely, carefully, without pressure, only gratitude. If you feel led, a simple like helps this message shine into someone else's night. A share becomes a lifeline for a soul silently breaking. A subscribe keeps you connected as God continues to speak identity into your life. And if your heart ever feels drawn to donate, know that every seed, large or small, helps this message reach the wounded, the lonely, the chosen ones who don't yet know their name. Not everyone realizes it, but support is like water to a growing tree. It keeps the roots alive. It keeps the branches reaching. It keeps the fruit forming. Your presence here is part of that growth. Your engagement is part of that mission. Your generosity, if you ever feel led toward it, becomes part of the ripple that touches unseen hearts across the world. But hear this clearly, you are never obligated. You are always appreciated. You are always welcome. And you are always seen. As identity settles deeper into your spirit, something shifts. You walk differently, not with arrogance, but with awareness. You speak differently, not to impress, but to awaken. You think differently, not from fear, but from spiritual clarity. The old insecurities lose their grip. The old doubts lose their power. The old labels fall away like dust, shaken off a mantle, now freshly revealed. This is who you are. Chosen one, not because you earned it, but because heaven appointed it. Your identity is not fragile. It is not temporary. It is not fading. It is eternal. It is divine. It is yours. And as you embrace this truth, the next miracles draw even closer. Provision begins to gather around your life now. Chosen one, quietly at first. Then, with growing momentum, like the early rumble of a distant storm that promises long-awaited rain, you have walked through seasons where resources were tight, opportunities were scarce. Doors seemed locked, no matter how faithfully you knocked. You learned to stretch yourself thinner than anyone knew, to make little feel like enough, to survive on faith when logic offered no explanations. And though you did not realize it, those seasons were not designed to starve you. They were shaping your dependence, sharpening your discernment, and preparing you for the kind of provision that arrives only after deep spiritual maturity. You are stepping into a shift where heaven begins aligning every resource, opportunity, connection, and open door that your assignment requires. Provision is not merely financial, it is spiritual, emotional, relational, and practical. It is the right idea at the perfect moment. It is the right conversation at the precise time. It is the unexpected message that becomes confirmation. It is favor resting on you so strongly that what was once difficult now becomes effortless. God is not simply giving you things, He is creating pathways. For years, you felt like you were patching leaks in a fragile boat. Every time one problem settled, another appeared. Each time you felt stable, something shook again. But now, your foundation is changing. Where things once slipped through your fingers, they will now stay. Where opportunities once dissolved, they will now solidify. Where resources once arrived inconsistently, they will now flow with purpose and direction. This is not random blessing. This is structured provision, provision with intention, guided by the hand of heaven. You may feel a new sense of mental clarity, new sparks of creativity, or sudden clarity about decisions that once overwhelmed you. This, too, is provision. God provides insight as powerfully as He provides money. He provides ideas as deeply as He provides opportunities. He provides direction as meaningfully as He provides open doors. And He is giving you what you need, not just to survive, but to build. Provision is arriving because you are ready to steward more. Not just receive it, carry it. Not just hold it, multiply it. Not just experience it, grow through it. You have been faithful in the valley, now you are being entrusted with the mountain. You have sown in tears, now you will harvest with clarity. You have endured lack without bitterness. Now you will step into abundance without fear. You have proven that your heart is steady even when your circumstances were not, and heaven responds to hearts like that. To root this truth deeper into your spirit, hear what the ancient scriptures reveal with unwavering assurance. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 32. He who did not spare His own Son, but gave Him up for us all, how will He not also, along with Him, graciously give us all things? This is not poetic sentiment, it is divine logic. If God did not withhold the greatest gift of all, why would He withhold anything lesser that your purpose requires? Provision is not an afterthought. It is woven into your identity as one who is chosen, loved, and intentionally set apart. And so, resources begin to gather around you like birds sensing the shift of seasons. You do not need to chase them. They migrate toward you naturally because the climate of your spirit has changed. Where last year's version of you would have questioned whether you were worthy, this version of you understands that provision is not a reward, it is part of your assignment. Destiny always comes with supply. You will notice this provision in various forms. In people who believe in your potential, in opportunities that feel tailor-made for your gifts, in breakthroughs that reveal the next step clearly, in healing that clears your emotional landscape, in ideas that spark new movement, in quiet moments where God whispers the next instruction. All of these are provision. All of these are divine resources. All of these are evidence that heaven is not merely observing your journey, it is equipping it. This shift does not mean everything becomes effortless, but it does mean you will no longer walk into every season empty-handed. You are entering a time where what you need comes when you need it. Not too early, not too late, precisely aligned with your readiness. Provision is a language, and God is speaking it fluently over your life right now. You will begin to see opportunities open that had no logical reason to welcome you. You will find yourself in conversations that link you to breakthroughs you did not know existed. You will experience moments where the right door opens at the right second, and you will know without doubt that this is more than timing. It is orchestration. And as you continue forward, provision becomes not just something you receive, but part of who you are becoming. You will speak with the confidence of someone who knows heaven is behind them. You will walk with the assurance of someone who knows lack no longer has authority. You will make decisions with the clarity of someone who understands that God supplies every step He commands. This is Miracle 6. Not just provision, but orchestrated abundance moving toward your life. There is a holy rearranging taking place in your relational world now. Chosen one, quiet, deliberate, and divinely calculated. Miracle 7 begins not with the arrival of a person, but with the shifting of your heart's landscape. You feel more aware, more discerning, more spiritually attuned than ever before. The relationships that once drained you no longer pull at your spirit. The connections that once confused you no longer have a voice. Something inside you has risen. And because of that, the people who enter your life from this point forward must rise to meet you. This is not coincidence. This is alignment. Heaven is preparing you for a relationship transformation, one that arises not from longing or loneliness, but from destiny. You have spent years walking roads where you loved deeply, trusted too quickly, gave too much, and received too little. You tried to fix things you didn't break, heal wounds you didn't cause, and carry burdens that never belonged to you. And all of that, though painful, shaped your heart into something wiser and more discerning. You now know how to recognize energy, intention, and spiritual compatibility long before words are exchanged. This transformation is not about romance alone. It includes friendships, alliances, mentors, divine connexion, kingdom partnerships. There are people who will step into your life not to take from you, but to build with you. People whose spirits resonate with yours. People who will protect what God is doing inside you rather than disrupt it. People who carry purpose, not confusion. People who bring peace, not instability. The relationships coming toward you now are not karmic cycles, emotional tests, or unfinished lesson. They are answers. You have prayed for this. You have cried for this. You have healed for this. You have waited for this. And now heaven responds. What once felt impossible suddenly becomes clear. Misalignment fades. Emotional fog lifts. Old attachments dissolve naturally, without force or bitterness. It becomes easier for you to bless what is leaving and welcome what is approaching. You stop asking, "Why didn't they stay?" and begin asking, "What is God making room for?" And in that question, your spirit finds peace. The transformation of relationships begins within you before it manifests around you. Your self-worth increases. Your standards rise. Your emotional boundaries strengthen. Your spiritual identity deepens. Your intuition sharpens. Suddenly, the people who once impressed you no longer attract you. The people you once tolerated no longer have access. The people who once drained you no longer hold spiritual power. This is the evidence of Miracle 7 unfolding, and the scriptures reveal the sacred pattern of God-orchestrated connection, as was spoken in the sacred texts of old. Book of Amos, chapter 3, verse 3. Do two walk together unless they have agreed to do so? This is divine alignment, explained in its purest form. Not everyone can walk with you. Not everyone is meant to journey beside you. Not everyone is assigned to your calling. Only those in true alignment, spiritually, emotionally, purposefully can walk with you into the season you are entering. You will begin to experience divine rearrangement. People you never expected may return with healed intentions, renewed hearts, and restored clarity. People you never met may appear with timing too perfect to ignore. People meant for your destiny will feel familiar, safe, purposeful the moment they enter your life. These new connections will feel different. Conversations flow effortlessly. Mutual support becomes natural. Discernment replaces insecurity. Purpose guides the relationship more than emotion. And most importantly, peace surrounds it. Peace becomes the indicator. Peace becomes the confirmation. Peace becomes the signature of God's hand. But before new relationships take root, heaven requires your agreement, your acknowledgement, your spiritual yes. So right now, as a prophetic act of alignment, I want you to comment the number 5,555. Do not underestimate this act. Commenting 5,555 is not superstition, it is declaration. When you type 5,555, you are spiritually saying, I agree with divine alignment. Alpha, I welcome God-sent relationships. Alpha, I release what no longer belongs. Alpha, I accept transformation in my relational world. Alpha, I am ready for the people assigned to my destiny. Envent, this number symbolizes open doors, relational healing, and the completion of old cycles. It marks the beginning of a new chapter where you will not walk alone, not because you lack strength, but because God is sending those who complement the strength you already carry. Soon, you will look back and realize that every relationship that left made space for something sacred. Every separation created room for alignment. Every heartbreak prepared you for wholeness. And every moment of loneliness positioned you for connection that matches your calling. Miracle 7 is here, and it is bringing people you were always meant to walk with. You stand now at the threshold of an inner liberation. Chosen one, a moment unlike the rest. A moment where heaven invites you to step out of cycles that once kept you bound. This is not simply about breaking habits or ending patterns. This is about severing spiritual loops that have repeated in your life for years. Loops of loneliness, disappointment, self-doubt, emotional exhaustion, and relational imbalance. You have lived many chapters where situations felt familiar, outcomes felt predictable, and pain seemed to recycle itself, no matter how much you grew. But now, something profound is shifting. You are being pulled into a new rhythm, a new spiritual frequency, a new way of being that no longer echoes your past. To break a cycle, you must first see it clearly. And clarity is arriving now, with piercing accuracy. You begin to notice that certain patterns were never coincidences, they were lessons. Certain repeated pains were not punishments, they were signals. Certain familiar emotions were not weaknesses, they were warnings. God has been showing you, piece by piece, what needed to be released, what needed healing, and what needed to end. The cycle breaking you are stepping into is not forceful. It is graceful. It is not chaotic. It is intentional. You are not walking away from your past. You are simply outgrowing it. Old reactions no longer match your current level of awareness. Old triggers feel lighter. Old temptations feel dull. Old wounds feel less defining. Cycles are broken when the heart heals, when the mind awakens, and when the spirit matures beyond what once confined it. You are not who you were a year ago. You are not who you were even a month ago. Your spirit has stretched. Your discernment has sharpened. Your emotional intelligence has deepened. And this evolution has quietly undone the patterns that once controlled you. This moment in your journey is like stepping out of a long, winding maze. For years, you walked corridors that circled back into themselves. You faced the same lessons, the same people in different forms, the same emotional puzzles disguised as new experiences. But now, the path straightens. You are no longer looping, you are ascending. You will notice internal signs of this shift. You feel less attached to what used to consume you. You feel more grounded, more aware, more capable of pausing before reacting. You feel a strange but welcome sense of detachment from chaos, as if your spirit has risen above the noise. The storms that once pulled you in emotionally now pass around you like distant thunder. This is not numbness, it is mastery. But breaking a cycle is also an act of courage. It requires choosing the unfamiliar over the familiar, the future over the past, the healed version of yourself over the wounded one. You are walking away from narratives that once defined you. You are shedding stories that were never yours to carry. You are releasing expectations that limited your growth. And as you do, you feel a new sense of identity forming, stronger, clearer, freer. Cycles break when you finally realize you deserve better than what the old loop offered. Better peace, better love, better clarity, better alignment, better boundaries, better self-respect. You are breaking generational cycles as well, patterns passed down through family lines, emotional legacies, and unspoken wounds. You are interrupting stories that have repeated through generations. You are becoming the turning point, your lineage prayed for without words. This is not just your cycle to break, it is your family's cycle to end through you. And heaven confirms this transition with words that have carried power across millennia. The prophet Elijah spoke, as recorded in the first book of Kings, chapter 18, verse 21. How long will you waver between two opinions? If the Lord is God, follow him. This is not a rebuke. It is a release. It is an invitation to choose decisively, to step fully into the path God has been guiding you toward, to stop oscillating between old cycles and new beginnings. The question Elijah asked, is the question your spirit has been answering with every moment of growth. You are choosing alignment over confusion, purpose over fear, transformation over repetition. The more you walk into this new spiritual clarity, the more the old patterns unravel. People who once held emotional power over you no longer influence your peace. Environments that once drained you no longer feel magnetic. Thoughts that once controlled you now dissolve before they fully form. You are shifting from survival into sovereignty, from cycles into calling. Breaking the old cycle is not an event. It is a transformation. And you, chosen one, are stepping out of the loop and into a life that finally matches the depth of who you are becoming. Something luminous begins to rise before you now. Chosen one, not a person, not a sign, but a revelation. The eighth miracle is not merely an event. It is the unveiling of destiny itself. It is the moment when your spirit finally recognizes what heaven has been preparing you for all along. Throughout your life, you have felt hints of this calling, flickers of purpose, sudden bursts of intuition, quiet moments of knowing without explanation. But the fullness of it always seemed just out of reach, like a horizon you could see but never touch. Now, however, that horizon draws near. Destiny is rarely revealed in comfort. It emerges through seasons of stripping, refining, awakening, and stretching. Every moment of loneliness sharpened your discernment. Every disappointment refined your vision. Every heartbreak deepened your compassion. Every delay strengthened your faith. And every quiet season trained you to hear the whisper of God more clearly than the noise of the world. The unveiling of destiny requires a soul that has survived its breaking and still chooses to rise. You have risen. And because of that, heaven begins to reveal what was once hidden. You begin to sense who you are becoming, not based on the titles the world gave you, but on the identity God inscribed into your spirit long before you entered this world. There is a stirring in your chest, a recognition in your bones, a quiet certainty in your mind that something about you has always been different. You were never meant to follow the crowd. You were meant to guide it. You were never meant to conform. You were meant to awaken. You were never meant to remain small. You were meant to carry a mantle that stretches beyond your personal story. This mantle does not make you superior. It makes you responsible. Responsible for your light. Responsible for your growth. Responsible for the people you will impact. Responsible for the truth you carry. Destiny is not about applause. It is about assignment, not about recognition, not about popularity, not about possession. It is about impact, the silent, steady, powerful impact that shifts the world around you simply because you walk in who you truly are. You have been prepared for this unveiling through seasons where it felt like nothing was happening, when in truth everything was happening beneath the surface. You may find clarity arriving in unexpected ways, a sudden realization about what you're meant to build, a renewed passion you thought you had forgotten, a vision that pulls you forward with greater force than fear, or a moment of supernatural peace that tells you you're finally aligned with your purpose. Destiny rarely begins with fireworks. It begins with recognition. And with this recognition comes responsibility, the responsibility to walk differently. Not cautiously, but consciously. Not timidly, but intentionally. You begin to guard your spirit more carefully. You begin to protect your peace more fiercely. You begin to say no to distractions that once captivated you. You begin to value time as sacred and energy as priceless. This is not you becoming distant, this is you becoming focused. For destiny demands a clear path. To seal this revelation, hear the ancient words that echo with timeless certainty. The Apostle reminds us in his letter to the Ephesians, chapter 2, verse 10, "For we are God's workmanship, created in Christ Jesus to do good works, which God prepared in advance for us to do." End quote. This is destiny defined, not abstract, not accidental, not coincidental, but prepared. Prepared before you were born. Prepared before your struggles. Prepared before your heartbreaks. Prepared before you even knew who you were becoming. You are walking into something that has your name on it, something no one else can carry. No one else can fulfill. No one else can manifest. You are not stepping into someone else's purpose. You are stepping into your own divine blueprint. And though the path ahead may not always be easy, it will always be aligned. The unveiling of destiny does not eliminate challenges, but it clarifies direction. You no longer wander, you walk with intent. You no longer chase, you attract by alignment. You no longer fear, you move with spiritual certainty. You no longer negotiate your worth, you embody it. And as you continue forward, you will notice the subtle confirmations, the right opportunities appearing, the right people recognizing you, the right doors opening with unusual ease, the right words forming in your spirit at the right time. This is not luck, it is orchestration. Heaven is shifting, synchronizing, and aligning everything around your steps. Destiny is no longer a distant concept. It is unfolding. It is revealing. It is arriving. And you, chosen one, are ready to walk in it. Authority settles over you now. Chosen one, quiet but unmistakable. Like the moment a storm finally recognizes the mountain, it can no longer shake. You feel it not as pressure, but as presence, not as weight, but as certainty. This is the moment when everything you have lived through begins to make sense. Every battle, every betrayal, every loneliness, every lesson, all of it has been shaping the mantle you now carry. You do not step into authority because you desire it. You step into authority because you have been forged for it. Spiritual authority is never given lightly. It is earned in hidden places, through silent endurance, through unseen obedience, through nights when you could have surrendered, but chose instead to hold on. Authority grows in the soil of humility and perseverance. You are stepping into it now because you have been tested, refined, and proven capable of carrying what others could not. This authority is not about superiority, it is about responsibility. It is the sacred confidence that comes from knowing who walks beside you and who stands within you. You are like a tree that survived storms fierce enough to uproot forests. Yet, you remained standing. The winds that once terrified you now respect your strength. The rains that once drenched your spirit now nourish your roots. You are no longer bending to life, you are shaping it. This is the mark of spiritual authority. Your presence changes atmospheres. Your voice shifts situations. Your courage inspires others to rise. And heaven confirms this truth with ancient weight. The voice of God thundered in the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 9. Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid, and do not be discouraged. For the Lord, your God, will be with you wherever you go. These words are not encouragement, They are commissioning. They mark the moment you transition from waiting to walking, from surviving to leading, from hoping to embodying the calling placed upon your life. You are stepping into a territory that requires strength, clarity, and steadfastness. But you do not step alone. Authority is not given to the unaccompanied, it is given to the aligned. With this authority comes a new way of seeing yourself. You no longer shrink to make others comfortable. You no longer silence your voice to avoid conflict. You no longer downplay your calling to avoid attention. You walk forward with intentionality, knowing your steps are guided. You speak with purpose, knowing your words carry weight. You move with certainty, knowing heaven backs your decisions. People will sense this shift even before you explain it. They will notice the calm in your tone, the confidence in your posture, the clarity in your gaze. You will inspire without trying. You will influence without forced effort. You will lead simply by being who God has crafted you to be. This is spiritual authority. It radiates from within and speaks louder than any title or position. But chosen one, understand this clearly. Authority doesn't isolate you. Authority elevates you. And because of that, your voice matters. Your presence matters. Your impact matters. If these messages have strengthened your spirit, guided you through uncertainty, or reminded you of your identity, I want to speak to your heart gently and sincerely. Your support helps this light reach others who feel lost in their darkness. A simple like can push this message into someone's midnight. A share can place hope into someone else's trembling hands. A subscribe keeps you connected as these revelations continue unfolding in your journey. And if your heart ever feels led to donate, know that your offering is not merely financial. It becomes a seed that helps this mission reach the broken, the lonely, the chosen who do not yet know they are chosen. Think of it this way. A lighthouse shines because someone keeps the fire burning. A well never dries because someone continues pouring into it. A tree gives fruit because someone tended to its roots. This mission, this message, this movement continues because of souls like you who believe in what God is doing here. Not out of obligation, but out of resonance, out of alignment, out of shared purpose. And if anything here speaks deeply into your spirit today, I invite you simply, sincerely to leave a comment as a way of saying, I am here, I am rising, I am stepping into authority. Your words become light for someone else scanning the comments, searching for a sign that they are not alone. Your voice matters more than you know. As you rise into authority, you will notice something profound. Fear loses its voice. Doubt loses its influence. Darkness loses its access. The battles that once felt overwhelming now bow before the strength you carry. The storms that once intimidated you now recognize your resilience. You are stepping into the realm of the unshakable, the realm of the chosen, the realm of spiritual authority. And once you step into this place, there is no going back. Nor would you want to. There is a quiet significance surrounding this date. Chosen 1, November 16th. You may not understand why your spirit feels so alert, why the air around you seems to hold its breath, why your intuition feels sharpened as if it has been waiting for something to arrive. This date is not random. It marks a spiritual turning point, a moment when the unseen aligns with the seen, when heaven finalizes what it has been preparing behind the curtain of your circumstances. You have been walking through a season where every day felt like a test, every hour felt like a stretch, and every moment seemed to carry a weight you could not name. Yet today, the atmosphere holds a different tone. It feels charged, intentional, purposeful. This is not emotional sensitivity, it is spiritual recognition. Something in the unseen realm shifted, and your spirit felt it even before your mind could understand it. The turning of November 16th is not about astrology, superstition, or coincidence. It is about timing, God's timing, divine timing, the moment when heaven says, now, not sooner, not later, but precisely now. And all the waiting, all the delays, all the stretching, all the tears have been preparing you for this precise turning point. In your journey, there are dates that feel ordinary but become extraordinary because of what heaven releases through them. This is one of those dates. It marks the end of a cycle and the beginning of a new one. It marks the closing of old wounds and the opening of new pathways. It marks the division between who you were and who you are becoming. This moment carries the weight of transition. Think of it like the changing of a season. Leaves do not fall all at once, but the season shifts in a single breath. Snow does not arrive instantly, but winter begins with one cold morning that feels different from the others. Waves do not immediately calm after a storm, but the winds turn first. That turn, the subtle, nearly invisible turn, is what November 16th represents in your life. You may feel an unusual clarity today. Thoughts that were foggy begin to sharpen. Decisions that once confused you now feel simpler. Emotions that weighed you down seem lighter. This is because spiritual clutter is being cleared. Heaven is making room. The tables are turning in your favor. Even if the external world has not yet caught up, this turning is not momentary. It is directional. It is like the gentle click of a compass shifting to true north after years of wandering in circles. You will not return to old cycles after today. Something has aligned too deeply within you. Something has awakened too clearly. Something has anchored too firmly in your spirit. You may begin to feel more grounded, more confident, more aware of your value and your calling. This is not pride, it is alignment. You are finally stepping into the rhythm heaven has carried for you all along. You are beginning to understand why certain people had to leave, why certain doors had to close, why certain seasons felt silent. Everything was shaping you for this moment. And to ground this turning in divine truth, hear the words that echo with timeless power. According to what is revealed in the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19. See, I am doing a new thing. Now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? This verse was not written for the comfortable, it was written for the transitioning, for the ones standing between endings and beginnings, for the ones whose spirits can sense an awakening even before their eyes can see it. The turning of November 16th is your new thing, the moment something long planted finally breaks the surface. You will notice small signs first. Subtle changes in your energy, unexpected clarity, new ideas, unusual peace, divine reassurance woven into ordinary moments. Then, in the days ahead, the external shifts will begin to reveal themselves, opportunities that align, conversations that confirm, doors that open without force, guidance that arrives exactly when needed. Do not be surprised if you feel lighter. Even if nothing dramatic happened today, The spiritual shift always precedes the physical manifestation. Do not be alarmed if you feel emotional. Your soul is releasing what it no longer needs. Do not question the sudden calm. Peace is often the first sign of destiny unfolding. This is the turning point, not the conclusion, but the pivot, not the ending, but the emergence, not the final chapter, but the threshold to the miraculous. From this date forward, your path will not feel the same, because you are not the same. And now, chosen one, you stand at the moment where everything converges, the arrival of the 8 miracles promised to your life. They do not approach you one by one, cautiously and slowly. They come like a coordinated symphony, each movement building upon the last, each miracle answering a different ache, each blessing filling a different empty space within you. What once felt distant now feels present. What once felt delayed now feels inevitable. What once felt impossible now stands close enough for your spirit to touch. You may not see the full manifestation yet, but you feel the unmistakable shift. You feel it in the way your heart no longer trembles. You feel it in the way your thoughts no longer spiral. You feel it in the way your spirit stands taller, broader, stronger. This is the posture of someone who is no longer waiting for miracles, but welcoming them. The first miracle awakened your strength. The second restored what you thought was lost. The third shattered delay. The fourth brought allies. The fifth healed your inner wounds. The sixth released provision. The seventh aligned your relationships. And the eighth revealed your destiny. Now they merge, forming a tapestry of divine orchestration, weaving together every thread of your story into a pattern more beautiful than anything you imagined. The arrival is not loud, it is not chaotic, it is not rushed. It is steady, sure, and deeply peaceful. Miracles do not enter where fear still reigns. They enter where readiness has taken root. And you, after all your endurance, are finally ready. Your heart may feel strangely full of awareness, full of gratitude, full of the quiet realization that God never abandoned the work He began in you. There were seasons when you doubted the promise. There were nights when you questioned the purpose. There were moments when you wondered if heaven had fallen silent. But now you can see the hidden thread, the invisible hand, the quiet orchestration behind every delay, every disappointment, every detour. What felt like wandering was preparation. What felt like loss was positioning. What felt like silence was strategy. The miracles arriving now come with a level of alignment you have never known. They fit your spirit. They match your growth. They honor your evolution. You no longer need to force blessings, chase answers, or cling to temporary comfort. The miracles that come by divine design arrive naturally, peacefully, effortlessly, because they are tailored not to who you were, but to who you have become. Presence fills your atmosphere. Peace settles over your shoulders like a mantle. Clarity rises in you like dawn breaking over a quiet landscape. You realize that miracles are not just gifts, they are recognition. Heaven's recognition of your endurance, your obedience, your transformation. Each miracle carries evidence that you were never unseen, never forgotten, never overlooked. The God who crafted your beginning never abandoned your middle, and now He crowns your new chapter with completion. To anchor this moment in holy truth, hear the words that affirm the faithfulness of God through every season. The Apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 1, Verse 20. For no matter how many promises God has made, they are yes in Christ. And these words strike the core of your journey. The promises were never maybe, and the miracles were never if, and the blessings were never possibly, and they were always yes, waiting for the right season, the right version of you, the right alignment of your heart. And now, heaven's yes surrounds you like a rising tide, soaking into every corner of your life. Your miracles do not arrive as isolated gifts, they arrive as transformation. You begin to think differently, walk differently, expect differently. You recognize signs more clearly, sense direction more accurately, and respond to life with maturity rather than reactivity. This is the fruit of a spirit refined through fire. Soon, you will look around and realize how profoundly everything has shifted. You will feel the restoration in your bones. You will see the alignment in your relationships. You will sense the provision trailing your steps. You will notice the allies heaven sent. You will feel the authority in your voice. You will embody the destiny revealed to you. And above all, you will know, with unshakable certainty, that the 8 miracles did not simply visit you, they took root in your life. This is the season where you step into fullness, not half blessings, not partial healing, not incomplete breakthroughs. Fullness, wholeness, completion. The 8 miracles are here, and so are you awake, aligned, and ready to walk in the life that was always meant for you. Take a breath now. Chosen one, let everything settle into your spirit, not with urgency, but with quiet acceptance. You have journeyed through all 17 sections, each one peeling back a layer, awakening something deeper, revealing truths that were hidden beneath the noise of life. This is your moment to pause, to sit in the stillness of what has unfolded, and to acknowledge the transformation happening inside you. You are not the same person who began this journey. Your mind is clearer, your heart is stronger, your spirit is more awake. You have walked through revelation after revelation, insight after insight, until the deeper truth finally emerged. You were never walking alone. Heaven has been guiding you, shaping you, preparing you for a season far greater than anything you imagined. Let the weight of that settle. Let the peace of it steady your breath. Let the hope of it soften your shoulders. You have stepped through loneliness, identity, healing, realignment, authority, provision, and destiny. You have risen from places where others would have fallen. You have endured seasons others would not have survived. And now, you stand at the dawn of miracles already in motion. Allow yourself to rest in this truth. You are chosen. You are guided. You are strengthened. You are aligned. The path ahead may still hold challenges, but you walk it now with clarity, with purpose, with divine support, with the certainty that heaven has gone before you. Hold these words close. Return to them when needed, and continue forward knowing you are stepping into miracles that will shape the rest of your life.